Hi everybody, it's Spring with Soaps and Suds and such, and today, what am I making? I'm making a coffee and tea infused lotion. Now I have in here my fresh brewed coffee. Now, coffee and tea, as you both, as we know, both of those have the ability of staining, such as a coffee cup. They also have the ability of staining the skin. So, there's different ways, or reasons why to use coffee or tea in a cream or lotion. For one, if you're not one of these, if you're not a person who likes to get out in the sun, don't like to risk your skin, but yet you want to naturally try to color your skin for the summer, well, then this may be a good recipe for you. Now, caffeine has, a lot of people use it to benefit the skin, and I'm one of the people who like to use it to benefit your skin. I like to use it, in around the eyes and such. And actually what I'm planning on doing, maybe, I'm not sure, I haven't made up my mind, but I may be splitting this off once I get it made, and actually making, one part of it unscented, and I will be trying that, because this is a new recipe, be trying it as far as like around my eyes, for an eye lotion. And if I like it, then I plan on retweaking and turning it into a cream and adding some more ingredients that benefit the skin around the eyes. But that's just a thought I may do. I have also got for this one, this is coffee infused sweet almond oil. I've got that. Close that back up, I don't want to spill any. Okay, I have, well, that was coffee and tea infused sweet almond oil. Then I have coffee and tea infused olive oil. Close that one back up. And then I also have coffee and tea infused grapeseed oil. Okay, plus I'm going to be using the coffee, the fresh brewed coffee. And I will give the recipe for this lotion at the end also. And I thought I might show you some things I've been doing here lately, if I can get to them. I will move this forward and I will bring you back. Okay, I have been collecting and drying flowers to be used in my products, as well as using them medicinally, such as these little rose buds will probably top a soap. Then my petals will probably be used in one of my products, or to make possibly jellies or teas. Then I have more rose buds here. And I have my dark rosebuds here, my orange here. I've got more petals back here. I've got dandelion here. These here are actually peony petals. And I have more rose petals back there. And I have my little, these are little pansies. And I also have peony petals here and peony petals there. These I will use a lot for teas, jellies, maybe to top a soap, maybe in a product. But you'd be surprised and amazed at what a lot of your herbs, flowers, weeds, plants can do for your skin. But always research. Don't take what I tell you and just go with it. You research. Or if you're going to be using it medicinally, as far as, ingesting it, taking it in, I would consult your doctor if you're on medication. Do research. You know, and I use them a lot medicinally as far as in salves. My other products, you know, lotions, creams, soaps. But I try to utilize what God has given us and use it to benefit, you know, whether it benefits me or benefits someone else, or just makes the product prettier, smoother, or whatever, you know. I feel that, you know, is very good for the skin. I believe God give us plants, He give us herbs, He give us our weeds, which are, many of those are herbs for a reason. And, you know, He give me and many other people the knowledge to know how to use herbs and use plants. He give us the knowledge, you know, there's so many people can make soap. There's so many people can do all of these, you know, wonderful bath and body creations. You know, and I'm thankful that God has given me that knowledge. And, you know, when I make a product, I like to pray over it, because, you know, if it could help someone in any single way, whether it's just pretty and they think it's, you know, oh, it just makes them happy, or makes them smile, or it makes them feel better, or their skin softer, or gets them clean, you know, anything, you know, I'm tickled with that. So I pray over my products. I am a believer of God, and I use what He give us, a lot of what He give us, you know. And a lot of people have quit using herbs. They've went away from that. Not me. I think they are wonderful and very helpful. So I just thought I would share that with you, and I'll get to the lotion making. I'll bring you right back. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and I usually don't do this on camera, but I'm going to weigh out my oils, and I am using emulsifying wax. I will give you the the percentages at the end of the video. So I'm going to get ready and clear my scale and weigh this out. And I am using the silky emulsifying wax from Nature's Garden. I will tell that. I like it. Okay, I've got that right. Now, that is my silky emulsifying wax from Nature's Garden. Now I'm going to be using stearic acid in this also. Clear my scale. Just a tad bit more than I want in there. Perfect. And I just took that off the top, so I did not take any of my emulsifying wax, where I piled that up in the center there. Okay, now let's see. Let me get my coconut oil. And I am using the organic, but you know, you can use whatever kind you want to. You don't have to use the organic if you don't want to. That is solely up to you. Okay, I need to clear this out. And let's see. Sorry about that, my battery, I had to fix that. Okay, I've got my, so far I've got my silky emulsifying wax, I've got my stearic acid, I've got my coconut oil. Now, I am going to go ahead and add my, let's see, well, actually, I think I'm going to melt this. And I am going to melt this in the microwave. Sometimes I use a double boiler method. Sometimes I do the microwave. And then I will bring you back to add. See, I'm not going to be using the olive oil in this recipe that I showed you. I just showed it because I have infused it with tea and coffee. But I'm going to be melting this, and then I'll bring you back. I'd rather melt it down and not have to heat up my grapeseed no more and my sweet almond at all. You know, let the hot oil actually warm it up. I'll bring you back. Okay, we've got that melted down, and now I'm going to add my sweet almond oil, and I'll get ready and add that. Let me fix my scale. I've got it's like a coffee ground right there. I don't want any of those in there. Oh, it's on the outside. Okay. Sorry about that. And the reason that looks like that in the bottom is because I'm adding the cold oil to the hot oil. But once I stir that, that will fix that problem. And I will be stirring it. Okay. Now we want to add our, I've got a coffee ground there too. We want to add our grapeseed oil. Now I let my oils infuse for a while. I'm trying to find something to use to actually, I didn't want to try to pour that, but I guess I will. I don't want to make a mess, in other words. Put me a rag right here. Okay, I'm going to add my grapeseed oil. Okay, I went over just a tad, but it'll be alright. Now, grapeseed oil, you know, when you use it, you don't have as good of a shelf life, but it and sweet almond oil are really good for going into the skin quicker. So I like that. Move that out of the way. I'm going to put this right here. And I am going to stir this until that is all incorporated together, all of my oils, like so. Okay, see there, that didn't take long at all. Okay. Okay, got that. Now I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients ready and I'll bring you back. Okay, and in here I've got some of my coffee. I just heated it up a little bit, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of hydrolyzed pearl powder, if you can see that. And I love pearl powder. I love using it in my products. You could also add honey powder, even bee pollen for that matter. So many different things. Okay, and I'm also to that I'm going to be adding some hydrolyzed silk powder because I love using silk. I use it in quite a few of my soaps. I do not use it in all of them because I have certain recipes that I have sold for many years and have made for many years for you know, ourselves and family members, friends, that I did not start using it in, and I do not change those recipes because they are loved the way they are. And then I'm going to just mix this up like so, and it will dissolve completely. I just like the way that, you know, the benefits of using both of these, but the benefits of pearl powder I love. And then, you know, like the silk, the feeling it gives to your cream or lotion. And I failed to mention, but I'm also going to be using in this recipe some rosehip oil, and I've got some here. I will be using some of that in here. Very good for the skin, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to set that back aside over there and then bring my oils back. Okay, I have to get my stick blender ready, and I will bring you back. Okay, and I meant to add to this, you know, not the recipe, but to tell you, you know, I did brew my coffee. So if I were using water, I would add, you know, I used distilled water, but I still would boil it for so many minutes and then, you know, let it cool off that way. So I always measure over, if I measure it, or I usually just eyeball it, but over the amount I need, and boil your water for, you know, several minutes. And let it stay at a good boil, you know, because even using distilled water, I still, you know, I don't know. I sometimes worry about, you just don't know about germs and stuff like that. So I do that. Now, if you are using sink water or something of that nature, then you definitely would want to boil it for a good amount of time. So, you know, I would just do like a pot and just boil. And then when you get to where you think you got enough, then measure it out. Okay, now we've got our oils here. And let's see, I've got my coffee over here that has chilled down, so I'm going to have to rewarm it just a tad because my oils are still warm. And I'll do that and I'll bring you right back. My camera's driving me crazy. Okay, I've already started boiling this, and I didn't know my camera had went off again. And I have to watch this blender because this thing really blends. So I'm just doing small pulses. And I am going to have to let this cool a little bit before I add my preservative to it. that over here. And I'll bring you back. Okay, now I'm going to add my rosehip oil. Just using the dropper. For that. Okay, I'm going to stir it in. It's wanting to thicken up on me. And I'm hoping to be able to put this into bottles. I should be able to. Okay, now I am using Optiphen preservative, and I like to put that in around 120 degrees, something where right around there is the way I like to do it. And that's about where I'm at. And I will stick blend again to make sure it's incorporated. I'm just stirring it a little bit, like so. And you see we have a tan cream. Okay, I'm going to stick blend. Okay, clean that off a little bit. Of course, I will be scraping this off, whatever's on it, whenever I get done, and using it on myself, even though it doesn't have fragrance in it, because I'm getting ready to take some of this out anyhow, like I told you, to try for my face. I don't want fragrance in it though. And the portion, you know, that I'm making for the body, I am going to be fragrancing. Okay, so we've got that ready. So now I'm going to get ready and scoop some out. Let me find me a spoon. I've got a little jelly jar here, and this is one that has been washed thoroughly, and I think I'm going to blend that a little bit more because I don't like lumps, and I see a couple lumps. So and there's the foam. Okay, now we are going to, I did get out some, by the way. Now we're going to use our fragrance oil in here, and I did discount for the little amount that I took out. So I'm going to just pour that in here like so. Okay. And, you know, when you make a lotion, you don't, I mean, if you don't want to use a blender, I mean, you don't have to, but you're going to have to stir, you know, but, I mean, that's totally up to you. I like to use one. It's quicker in emulsifying it quickly. So, and to this, also, you could add, like a skin safe, bronzer. You would want to make sure that it was skin safe though, but you could do that. but I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it as natural as possible, other than my fragrance, you know, and my preservative that's in there. I like this preservative, you know. I think it's not as bad as some of them. Okay, and I did use the rice petals and shea butter from Nature's Garden. I used that. Okay, now I have cleaned my containers, and I have got those sprayed down. I do spray everything down with 91% alcohol, just, you know, to be on the safe side. And I've already got lotion on this container that I was planning on using for pouring. And I've got coffee grounds on the bottom of it, so, but they're not on the inside, and it has been sprayed down. So, okay, now I am going to put some of my lotion right into here so that I can attempt to pour it. And normally I like my lotions a lot thicker than this, but I went with a thinner one. Not as hard to pour into these bottles. I honestly should probably get the squirt bottles for the thick ones that I like to do. Okay, I've got some of that out. Now, my bottle has been sprayed with 91% alcohol, and yes, I have to use a funnel. Some people don't. They're lucky. But I do. I cannot pour it good. I used to could, but I have got to where I'm not as steady as I used to be. So, and I have me a dowel over here for whenever it don't go down, that I will be pushing it down in there. And I've got enough lighting where I can see inside my bottle when it gets up high enough. Or at least I think I do have enough lighting. Oh, look over me. I can't see worth a hoot. Worth a hill of beans. And I like for my bottles to be pretty full. But I don't like overfilling, because then you got to clean your bottle off. Let me check that in the light. Okay, for one thing, I'm going to, whoops, okay, see there? Too full, but not by much, so that's not the worst. Okay, let me scoop this off of here. I will have to wipe that bottle down though, but pour just a little bit of that out. Got it too full, way too full. Okay, that's about right. And I'll wipe down my bottle and spritz that with some 91% alcohol around there, and it will work out fine. But I hope that this one turns out good. If it does, like I always say, I will retweak if I like it, or if my daughter likes it, I'll retweak it. Whoops. To get it exactly where I want it. And I'm just beating down any air pockets we might have in there is all I'm doing. Make sure, yep, I got that full. Okay, I will clean that off a little bit better. Like I said, with some 91% alcohol around that lid, because you want to have that nice and clean. Okay, get my next one ready. Maybe this one maybe I won't overfill. I guess we'll see. These stupid containers, sometimes they just don't work so hot. Like to, if I could, I'd whoop their hind end, but they don't have one, so I can't whoop it. Look over me. You look down in there. I'm gonna beat this down right quick while I've still got it down low. You want to beat out your air bubbles, because I like my bottles to be full, and if I don't beat down the air bubbles, you may have, you know, a bunch of air pockets down in here and you think it's full and it's not. Okay, that one's close but not quite there. Don't like much though, so I'm going to raise this up a little bit. And I am really shaky today, really bad. I used to have a really steady hand. I used to draw a lot and stuff like that. Paint. And my daughter did not want it really dark because she is really fair-skinned, and so she didn't want hers to be really dark. Okay, I'll have to clean that one off, and let me put the rest of this into my container. Okay, actually, I've got enough to fill probably one more bottle. I'm going to fill that, and once this cools, I'll bring you back and show you how it turns out. Okay, I'm back, and I thought I'd show you what I've done. Now, this is the one that I took out for to go around the eyes, and it turned out really creamy. And I did already, I'll go ahead and tell you, I did tweak that one already. I've already added some other ingredients to it because I have people that are wanting to try it, and I kind of wanted to have what I wanted in it. Okay, this will be going into small containers, the little tiny ones, and I will also be trying it. Then this bottle I did a little bit different. I added a cosmetic grade, like a beige, brownish, beigeish color, but it is cosmetic grade, could be used on your eyes or your lips, so I would prefer to do that. Now, this is what it looks like, if you can see, when it squeezes out. I don't want to squeeze a whole lot out. And then the other one, with just the you know, the color that's coming from the coffee and the tea is right there. So if you can see the difference, and I like them. I got a little bit much right there. I'm going to put that on my arm. And it goes in the skin really good. You know, the grapeseed oil and the sweet almond tend to go in really good. But if you can see, I really like it. So already, and that was just from scraping down my bowls, and you know, I scrape everything down. I don't waste any lotions or creams. And these two bottles, the ones that I just used, are for me and my daughter. She'll get to pick whichever one she wants, and we'll be trying those out. And then a lotion that I made a while back, I did a video on it. I gave away the recipe, and it was my, let's see, what did I end up calling it? Rosebud lotion, and it had, let me use the other arm. Now this is a very thick lotion, if you can see. Very thick. A little bit thicker than that one, but again, goes into the skin good. But now, like I'm telling you, whenever you use grapeseed oil in there, it'll cut your shelf life down on as far as how long you can put on your bottle for shelf life. Now, that one turned out wonderful, and that's got rosehip oil in it also. And then I did give away a recipe for that one, so look it up if you want to. It's my I'm pretty sure it's called. Let me find my glasses because I've got it wrote on there. I'm bad to take my glasses off my head and then I can't find them. Yeah, I called it Rosebud Lotion with rosehip oil. But that one, I've got like I said, the recipes on there. I give it. Now, I did tweak mine just a little bit because I kept like I said, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to tweak it. I don't want to be like everyone else. Even though I made the recipe, that's the way I am. And then this is my Radiant Luster Cream. Now, I give away the original recipe for this. It has since been tweaked. But this is a very luxurious cream. Very creamy. And very luxurious. I don't want to waste any. That one there, I've got that one on my YouTube channel also, and the recipe, is there for free. Now, I tweaked it, like I said, put in some more ingredients, and I call that my Radiant Luster Skin or Hair Cream, or hair mask, but it is wonderful. And I have people, I can't, that's one that goes if I make it. But check out my YouTube channel. I mean, check it out. I give away loads of recipes. And, I do tweak if I keep the recipe for myself, I tweak it. So that way, I'm not using something that I make to give out for everybody else to use. I'm not still using it, if you get what I'm saying. But if you don't want it to be like, everybody else's or something, or tweak it, But it's a good way if you haven't made lotions, I'm trying to help people learn, to do lotions and creams. And, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. If I could go live, I would go live. Haven't figured that out yet. And yes, I did open those back up. I'm going to leave them open for a while. They are cool, but I like to give them a little bit longer just to be on the safe side. Don't want any heating going on in there inside that bottle. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I've got plenty more of creams and lotions with recipes coming, because I'm getting ready to dive into several samples that I received from J. Edwards Bulk Naturals Company. Should have had them done. Been sick a lot with my epilepsy, so when I'm sick with my epilepsy, that can put me down for a while, and it has. But I'm getting ready to dive into that. There will be, a recipe for each sample. And, if you can't come by a certain oil, go to, I use soap calc a lot, and I do my lotions on there. Of course, they don't have all the oils, and, I take it, I can't explain to you how I do it, but I've gotten a habit of that. But I had a friend that's in one of the soaping groups that I'm in on Facebook. She happened to mention the WSP batch calculator. If you'll look that up and go on there, you can just put in your, I made a 2-pound batch in this. Okay, you put whatever, in ounces or pounds or however you want to measure it. And then you put down your ingredients. You just tap them in, what percentage you want to use. Like if you want to make a thicker cream and you want to use, say, 64, 65, 66, you know, percent water, or you want to make a thinner cream or thin lotion, I mean, and you know, like this recipe, which I told you I would give you, and I'm going to give it to you. You know, the water percentage, I use 71%. Now this is still pretty thick. You've seen how it thickened up. But you know, you just have to play with the numbers to find what you like. And so this has in it, now here's the recipe. I won't be writing it in the description, but here it is. Okay, in the water phase, I've got, instead of water, I just mentioned water, but I didn't use water. As you've seen, I used coffee, and that was brewed coffee. Now you can change it up and use water if you want to. And I use 71% to this recipe, and this is a 2-pound batch. Okay, I used Optiphen as my preservative. You know, feel free to use a different one if you like. And I used 1.5% to this recipe. Fragrance oil, I used 5%. And I did use the shea, let's see, what was it called? Rice petals and shea butter. And this ended up smelling really like a really wonderful coffee, to be honest with you. It's got the coffee scent, but it's got, oh, I guess it's the shea butter and the rice petals, because it's just kind of like some kind of frappuccino or cappuccino or something. It's really good. I like it. And then to the oil phase, we used grapeseed oil, 3.5%. Sweet almond oil, 2%. Coconut oil, 2%. Stearic acid, 3%. And then I used silky emulsifying wax. You can use whatever kind of emulsifying wax you like to use, but I used the silky from Nature's Garden, and I used 10% to this. And then I also, just remember, if you use the Optiphen, you don't want to add your Optiphen preservative at temps, you know, like above. I don't like to go really high, but I think on Nature's Garden, I think it says 140 or something like that. But me, I like to keep it around 120. Okay, then we added 1/8 of a teaspoon of pearl powder to a little bit of coffee that I heated in the microwave. And we also added 1/8 of a teaspoon of silk powder to that. And we stirred it around. It does dissolve. You don't have to add that. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. If you want to add other things, you can add other things. Then also we did use 2 droppers of our rosehip oil, and that was from Levin Rose. That was a sample that they sent me to try, and I really like it. I'm really happy with it, which I've told in my other videos. But that's it. That's what's in this. And you know, I hope that if you're there, you know, making soap and you're scared to make lotion, don't let it scare you. You know, you're never going to learn if you don't try. Get the stuff and try. And you don't have to use sweet almond oil if you don't have it. Go to Walmart, go to the grocery store, buy you some oils there that you can. I mean, you know, and use that. You can use olive oil. You can, like I showed you, can use grapeseed oil. You can use sunflower oil. They even sell, if I'm not mistaken, avocado oil. That's a good one for lotions. Coconut oil, I did use organic. I like using it in my lotions and in my creams. But now, you know, that's a good one. There's many oils that you can get at a place like Walmart or a grocery store, you know, that you can make. And play around. Try it. Get on WSP. And, you know, the batch calculator. I think that would be the easiest. I may do a video on showing how I figured out on Soap Calc, but I knew nothing about the one that on WSP until I think it was Tracy that mentioned it from the group Soaper's Life on Facebook. I'm pretty sure that she mentioned it. And I'm glad you did, Tracy, because I think I'm going to try it out. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I haven't rambled on too much. And if you like our videos, do click subscribe. Hit that like button. And with that being said, happy soaping, happy lotion making, and have a great day.